All right, what's up, everybody? Mark Harbert here, and man, I'm super excited. I got my good friend, industry legend in my eyes, at least, and he's been around a lot. We've been friends for several years. Him and his wife are amazing people. I absolutely love them. Super high integrity. They're just good people, and they're incredible marketers in network marketing. Mr. John Melton, what's up, dude? Glad to
What's
have
up,
you.
Mr. Harbert? I'm excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I always appreciate you giving me your time and excited to have a little chat today. So, specifically, what we're going to talk about today is network marketing. I've been serving network marketers for many years, and we're going to specifically talk about what to look for in a good opportunity. Because I'll tell you, you've been around a long time. I've been around a long time. I have seen so much crap online come and go, and I have always had this idea to do this about what to look for
Yeah.
in a good opportunity because so many people get wrapped up in things that really don't have the long term stamina. But before we get into that, I definitely just want to hear a little bit of your story because you've been around the industry for a while now,
Yeah, it's
and
been over
you've had
two
great
decades
success.
since I went to my first meeting.
Yeah.
So it was 2001. I went to a presentation. It was 2 weeks after 9/11, believe it or not. But I went to a presentation because I was broke, busted, and disgusted. I was going to community college, had no real vision or plan. I kind of felt like a loser actually because all of my friends, for the most part, were going to college, like a 4 year college. I was going, we called it Harvard on the Hill, AACC, any can come.
Yeah.
Um, and it was, it's funny, dude. Like I would drive out of my little neighborhood area. If I went right, my high school was 5 minutes down the road to the right, down College Parkway. Left down College Parkway was Anne Arundel Community College, and it was literally they 5 minutes from each
Yeah.
other. So it was like I was basically going to like 13th and 14th grade, and dude, I was so unsatisfied and just like I was just partying. I was just living for the weekends. Had no real future, and then I was invited to a network marketing presentation, and I was like, hook, line, and sinker, a total red apple.
Yeah.
I'm like, take my money. I didn't have any money, but I
Yeah.
was like, take my $50. I'm gonna have to find it. But the point is, I signed up, got started, probably spent more than I made the first 2, 3 years,
Yeah.
and then that company got shut down. So luckily, I got a lot of personal development, a lot of experience that I was able to take into the mortgage industry. And the best part about that, even though the company got shut down, and it probably was kind of sort of a pyramid scheme, which is why I got shut down. Um, so my friends were right. Um, I met Nadia. So
Yeah.
obviously that was the best blessing that's ever happened to me. And then her and I both went into the mortgage industry because we got pregnant. We were just talking about Dylan, right? You and I were just talking
Yeah.
before this about my
Yeah.
son Dylan, who's almost 19.
Mhm.
It's his senior year of high school. It's so weird. But we got pregnant with him back then. And that definitely gave me a rude awakening. Like, okay, I got to get serious. I need to make some money. So I basically got out of network marketing for a little while, but I had the experience, the knowledge, and
Yeah.
I took that into the mortgage industry. My first year as a mortgage broker, I didn't even know what a mortgage was, by the way, when I went in for the job interview. I had no idea what it was. I'm like, I don't know what a mortgage is, but I'll outwork everybody. And I did. I made 100 calls a day. I made 125,000 my first year. I was the rookie of the year, best like rookie loan officer. But the next year, Mark, I was the number one loan officer. Now there were definitely mortgage brokers that were better than me for sure, but they would make a bunch of money and take a month off.
Yeah.
They would make a bunch of money and travel and do all these things. So I ended up just never taking a break. I was balls to the wall for that entire year. That was 2005. And I was the number one loan officer. I did the most in revenue. The next year, again, I was the number one loan officer, but I got back into network marketing. And the second time around, I had a lot more influence and credibility because I was this very successful loan officer. And I ended up recruiting a whole bunch of people, made over $6,000 my first month. And I used to always have a joke. You send me a check with a comma, you have my attention.
Yeah.
And within about 2 years, I fired my boss. So from 2006 to 2008, I was working it part time. The mortgage industry crashed just like it is right now.
Mm.
Same thing all over again, like deja vu. But the industry crashed. But I also went all in with not only my network marketing business, and not to go too much down a rabbit hole here, but one of my really good friends from high school, him and I used to always party together. And we used to always say, no good comes from alcohol, or, we make all bad decisions come after midnight. And that's where we
Yeah.
get into fights or drugs. We'd
Yeah.
get into like just really bad stuff. And unfortunately, he ended up getting addicted to some stuff and he took his life in 2008. So when he did that, when he died, I was like, you know what? I'm done. And I haven't had a sip of alcohol since 15 years ago, basically. I've been sober 15 plus years. So this is, like that was another one of those really good decisions I made. So I quit mortgages, quit alcohol, went full-time in network marketing. Even though I was kind of with that company for 2 years, I was really just playing with it. That's when I went all in and I really got serious. And later that year, we had my daughter, Christina. So, essentially we had a crazy wild ride with that company, raising these two little kids. And we were out doing the old school stuff, home meetings, weekly meetings, three-way calls, all the things. I learned a lot, but mostly, Mark, I learned that I'm not money motivated. I'm freedom motivated.
Yeah.
So we walked away from that company in 2013, which was really hard because we were there 7 years.
Yeah.
That was our only source of income. But luckily, I found people like Gary Vaynerchuk, Ray Higdon, Chalene Johnson, Grant Cardone, Tim Ferriss, and all these guys are talking, attractionmarketing.com, right? What were they called back then? Magnetic Sponsoring with Mike Dillard.
Yeah.
Like I started following these guys and I'm like, okay, we need to build a brand. We need to master online marketing. We need to do videos. I have no idea what I'm going to talk about. I have no idea what this is going to look like. This is 10 years ago. But I knew that if we could figure out, because the only problem was a lot of these guys were teaching like blogging and SEO and stuff that I still don't understand SEO. Thank God we outsource it. But I felt like I needed to figure out a way that would work for me, but also that I could duplicate.
Yeah.
And we went to this company called Vima, and I don't want to make this another long story, but we went to Vima. We put 7,000 people in that company in 2 years. Our former company sues us for $2.5 million. Nadia always likes to say, baby, wrongfully sued, wrongfully sued. So we dealt with that for 2 years. We settled, finally. Those jackasses really had nothing on us. But a month later, Vima gets shut down by the Federal Trade Commission for being a pyramid scheme. And I'm like, dude, like I guess I should just be like a coach.
Yeah.
Or I should just sell courses and just be a consultant because this network marketing thing isn't working out. But let me just throw my hat in the ring and join this other social retail company, whatever this is. And, I'll just have somewhere to refer people. 16 months into that company, it's now been 7.5, almost 8 years. 16 months into that company, I was making more money than I ever made. We were earning over 6 figures a month, built this multi-million-dollar organization all over the world and mostly online, mostly leveraging social media without doing all the three-way calls, the home parties, the home meetings, the weekly meetings. We don't even really do Zooms. So all of that stuff happened the way it did. And I know this is kind of like a mindset lesson conversation for a second here, but it's amazing how like when you look at your life in reverse, you're like, oh, blessing in disguise, blessing in disguise. Oh, thank God that terrible thing happened. Thank God that relationship ended. Thank God that company got shut down. Like you start to look at things in reverse. You're like, wow, all these things that at the time I was so upset about. And I thought it was like life was ending, like, devastating, like, information or circumstance or something that occurs. And you're just like, dude, why me?
Yeah.
And then you look back, you're like, oh, that's why. Oh, that was all supposed to work out the way it did. So yeah, here we are 21 years later and we're still thriving.
It's crazy, man. I've watched you guys, like I said, we've been friends. I think we met back probably around 2015, 2016, something like that in Ray's mastermind.
Yep.
And, but this is why, like, I really wanted to talk to you because you have a very unique perspective on this because you were in 2 companies that got shut down.
Yes.
So,
and I've done the internet marketing thing. I've done the old school thing. I've seen a lot of companies pop and drop over the years. And you know what it boils down to? You have to decide, what do you want?
Yeah.
What do you want? And it's kind of like that Notebook meme or what do you want? Yeah. What do you want? I don't know. Right. And I think that's a lot of people. They're like, I don't know what I want. Like I want money, but I want freedom, but I want, and I think what it boils down to is you need to find something that gives you, purpose, something that gives you fulfillment. Obviously it should give you financial benefits, but also it has lifestyle attached to it. Like, I don't want to tell someone to work 100 hours a week and sacrifice what's most important. Now, if you don't have kids and you're young, or your kids are grown and you're an empty nester, maybe you can pull that off. But I would say the majority of people out there that we work with do have children. Some are younger, some are older, but at the end of the day, they want to work from home. They want that freedom and flexibility. And the most important thing is they want to know they're doing something that can actually benefit an end consumer, that they can look people in the eye and say, you should do this. It's worth it. This product is amazing. It stands alone without a comp plan. And I think unfortunately, there's a lot of schemes out there. There's a lot of deals out there. There's a lot of programs out there that, let's be honest, Mark, it could be an affiliate program. It could be a product. It could be a service. And you want to be like, listen, I see you promoting this thing, this opportunity, this program, this deal, but would you buy that thing, whatever that thing is, that product, that service, that opportunity, that program? Would you buy it if there wasn't a comp plan attached?
Yeah.
Would you buy that $5,000 water system or that $1,000 course? Would you buy that, $79, mouthwash? Like, that sounds kind of expensive. Or it might not be mouthwash. What's that company that's toothpaste? They have some super expensive toothpaste. And I'm not saying that people wouldn't buy it. I'm just saying you got to ask yourself, like, would I buy this if there wasn't a comp plan attached? Right. And if the answer is no, that's a red flag. If all the volume comes from recruiting recruiters to recruit recruiters, and there's no one actually buying the product, like, you don't have people reordering the product outside of the distributors.
Actual customers.
Yes. If the distributors are your downline, that's a red flag. So these are definitely some things that you have seen, that I've seen over the years. And, again, you got to ask yourself, what do you want? Do you want something that's just going to last 6 months and you're going to make a whole bunch of fast start bonuses? The problem with that mentality is, what about all the people that get in the last month or two that thing lasts? Yeah. Right. What about the people that get in at the end of the pyramid at the bottom? And they're getting in, they're buying this $1,000 pack, this $5,000 water system, this, $300 like vitamin pack, and you leave, or it falls apart. See, for me, I feel a lot of guilt. Yeah. So that was part of the reason that I had some major MLM PTSD, because I started feeling like every company was a glorified pyramid scheme, and that there wasn't actual product sales. Yeah. Now, the company we're with today, 85% of our revenue comes from customers. And I'm not saying, oh, look at my company. My company's the only good one. But you should ask these questions, like, where's the revenue come from? Right? If your revenue comes from recruiting packs to get other people to recruit on packs, to get a recruiter pack, to buy a builder pack, to buy a builder pack, recruiter pack, builder pack, and then people are just running their auto ship to maintain qualification, to me, that's a red flag. Yeah. That should be an obvious red flag to anyone in a traditional business or in sales or marketing or whatever, a job. They can look at that and go, okay, so the only way you can make money or move up in the rank advancement is to recruit other people. You think about real estate, Mark. Someone can make a full-time income selling real estate without ever recruiting another realtor. The first thing you do when you get a life insurance license is you want to get some customers to sell your insurance product to. You're not trying to recruit other agents, right? So I feel like every comp plan should have what we like to call a dual-sided plan, where you make money even if you never recruit anybody.
Right. Well, and the red flag too is, this is all, we're talking legal stuff here too. I mean, we're talking things that the FTC they look at when they go, is this a legitimate deal or not? Right. Because they're looking at what you just said. Is the majority of the revenue coming from just customers, people who really aren't really even involved in the business side of things? Because like you said, if 90 to 100% of all your volume is coming through the people who are working the business, that looks a little shady.
Yeah. And here's the other thing. People will say, yeah, well, my company, we are kind of like that, but we've been around 5 years. My last company, Vimo, was 10 years old when they got shut down by the FTC. And Mark, the thing that sucks is, not only did they have a great product, but we did have a lot of customers. The problem was, anybody can become a distributor. All they had to do is check a different box. So they'd be like, listen, I mean, if you're going to grab a spot, which that right there is a red flag. If someone tells you to grab a spot and I'll put people under you, right? Those plans are always, but that's what they would do. They would say, grab a spot. Instead of checking the customer box, check the affiliate. And they would call them affiliates. And I would get so upset because I'm like, guys, an affiliate is not building. An affiliate is like, I just refer this and I get affiliate commissions. As soon as there's a downline tiered structure, that is no longer an affiliate program. Now people are like, oh, well, it's only 2 levels. I'm like, well, that sounds terrible. A 2-tiered affiliate program. So what if I come in on your 3rd level? You make nothing? That sounds terrible. So it's a lot. There's a lot of lingo that's thrown around, language that's like, oh, we're not MLM, but we're network marketing. You know, we're an affiliate program. And it's, you need to do your due diligence. And it does suck because, you know, let's be honest, there's a lot of people out there that are desperate right now, and they're going to maybe make bad decisions. Because they're desperate. And whenever you're in desperation mode, that's never a pretty place to be.
Yeah. And I think too, and that's what a lot of, I mean, like I said, you and I, we've been around a long time, man. I started marketing in 2008 online. I've seen a lot of crap come and go. And there's certain verbiage and things that a lot of these shady opportunities will say, and it tends to be very money driven. It tends to be very, it almost has a greed, icky feel to it. And, you know, and the thing is that it's really, I mean, you want people to have a motivation, but I don't know. Over the years, there's just certain things that I've learned in my gut to go, I don't know about that. You know,
you know what our compliance is? Sometimes we call them the sales prevention department. But you know, he has a good point. He's like, look, anytime you're going to do a post, anytime you're going to talk about the opportunity, and you're doing it in a way, you're doing a post in a way that entices someone to reach out, that's a problem. And I'm like, man, that's tough because that's a lot of my posts, right? But he's right. He's like, if you're posting about like, I got a free trip to Nicaragua, all expenses paid, you know, you did, but you earned it. And that's not common. Not that many people are going to win the trips or get the car bonus or make a lot of money. It's just that's just called life. Like most people are going to get a gym membership and not get in shape. Most people are going to, you know, get a real estate license, never sell a house. I mean, that's just the truth. 90% of realtors that get a license do not sell a house. Does that mean real estate doesn't work? Does that mean the gym doesn't work? Does that mean your business? No, it just means that that's just reality. And I like to think that we've done a great job within our organization of appeasing the 80%ers that are part-time spare time. They want extra money, and the ones that want to make a full-time income, you know, 3, 4, 5,000 a month. And we've done a great job helping the leaders that want to build wealth. And I think you're going to get the part-time sometime-er, you're going to get the full-timer, and you're going to get the all the timer, right? Like the person that's just like, they're obsessed. They love what they do. That's me. I love what I do. Now I don't work it all the time, but you know what I'm saying? It's like, it's always at the top of my mind. It's my passion. We made over almost 8 million in the last 2 years. So of course I'm obsessed. Of course I love this, but that's because I've got a lot of people winning. And the majority of our revenue comes from customers. We got a 10-to-1 customer to rep ratio. I could never build a business like this in the company I was with before, especially the company I was with before that, because they were so heavy, like you said, on the recruiting, the hype, the money. And here's the other thing, Mark. A small percentage of people want to own a business that are entrepreneurial minded. Now, we think that's weird because we're in the 3%, we're in the 5%, that small percentage. But 90+% of the people out there are employee minded. But you know what? They will buy a good product. They will buy a product that can help the problem they're having. So a lot of people start out as I call them curious customers. But they start off as like product users, right? They're just going to become a customer. And then maybe if they get results or they feel good or they love the product, they might start referring it to people. And you're like, hey, you can get credits towards free shopping, you know, free shopping credits, or you can get paid. You don't have to, but if you're referring it anyway, why not? Why not refer to other people and get commissions and become like, you know, we call them social marketers, but we basically tell people it's like affiliate marketing on steroids, where you could share a product, get paid for the life of the customer. Most affiliate programs, you get one-time commissions, you know, you're not getting paid that residual. So for me, I also wanted to find a product that I believed, not only was it standalone, but I believed that people would use it daily, order it monthly. And that's why I'm sure all of your all the people watching this would probably agree that most of the big companies out there are like health and wellness,
Yeah.
their weight loss, their collagen, their oils, their, you know what I mean? So if you find a product you really believe in, you would buy it if it, on its own merit, like it stood
Right.
alone without the comp plan. You found mentorship and community, and it's a company that isn't like super old school, stuck in the past, like with just,
Yeah.
oh, we only do home meetings and belly to belly, knee to knee. We don't believe in social media. We're anti social media. I think if you find that, then you're finding a good company. Now I do think they're few and far between, but
Yeah.
they're out there. Those
Right.
companies are out there. I'm definitely not the only one that found a company like that, and I think
Yeah.
so many people need to do their due diligence,
Yeah.
ask the right questions, and don't get sucked into hype. Don't
Yeah.
get sucked into, you see a post, someone else is rank advancing, making all this money. First of all, they might be lying.
Yeah.
First of all,
Second
they
of all,
might
it's
be
pretty
lying.
illegal to sit there and pump out those kind of stats. I mean,
Second of all, you're
yeah.
asking for, you're like knocking on the FTC's door.
Yeah.
Come here, come take me down. Shut down my
Right.
company. But the third thing is, even if they are able to get awesome results, it doesn't mean you will. Now, I do believe it makes sense to find someone like you, find someone like me, find a mentor, find someone that has the results you want, because there's more likelihood of you creating results if you listen to a person that's already had the results. But I can't guarantee that anybody, in fact, I hate to say this, but I can guarantee 99.9% of the people that join me will never become a multimillionaire. And I hate to admit that, but it's true, because
Yeah.
most people are not going to put forth that effort, that sweat equity, that consistency. Like, it's just the truth. But how many of us would be okay with being $1,000 a year? I'm
Yeah.
sure they'd rather make that per month, but they're also not going to complain if that's where they get stuck,
Yeah.
right? So I think ultimately it's the consideration of all the things.
Yeah.
And the truth is, and this is the other thing that excites me, in today's certain economic
Yeah.
circumstance, I think there's gonna be a lot of people looking for something. I think I hate to think like people are like losing their job, or people are going to be starving if they're in real estate. I hate
Yeah.
thinking about that. Like, I don't want to be like, yay, my friends and colleagues and people in my network are going to be suffering. No, I don't want that. But I also feel like that's why I went full time in 2008, because I didn't want to be a mortgage banker back when the market crashed. It got so hard. There was so much turmoil. All these companies were getting bailed out and going belly up. I mean, the market crashed hard, and it was a rough couple years.
Yeah.
I mean, thank God I had another income stream. So again, I'm not doom and gloom. I'm just speaking facts, and I'm
Yeah.
talking about the history, and history repeats itself. And I don't think this next couple years is going to be great
Yeah.
as far as the economy goes, but I also think there's great opportunity because of that.
Yep. Yeah, it is, and I think that that's always something we have to be willing to look at. I saw you put out a post recently on social media, and it was something about, and I love that you said, and it had something to do about skepticism. It's
Yeah.
okay to be skeptical, but not something. Yeah, I forget exactly what it
I
was.
said, I understand being skeptical. In fact,
Yeah.
I think people should be skeptical,
Yeah.
right? You don't want to just hear something, go, okay. I mean,
Yeah.
you'd have to be,
Right.
not very intelligent if you just trust something you hear without
Right.
thinking about it, and
Right.
being like, okay, what's the catch?
Yeah.
But if you're broke, like you're hurting financially, and you're super close minded, I don't get that. I
Yeah.
feel like if you're in a bad spot financially, or
Right.
let's just say you make pretty good money, but like you hate what you do,
Yeah.
you should be super open minded. To
Yeah.
me, it's like, that's like, okay, I'm in a bad situation and I'm skeptical of everything. Like, well, how's that working out for you? I mean, like,
Right.
pick a
I mean,
lane, bro.
well, there's a difference. Like, okay, maybe had something bad happen to you. Cool. I can
Yeah,
understand being a little more careful next time, but
exactly.
not being so skeptical about it that you're not willing to give it a try again either.
Yep.
Because if that's the case, and you live your life like that, you're never going to get anywhere. You're going to
Yeah.
be totally unhappy. It's like, it's just a bad way to look at life. But
I
I
mean,
think,
thank God you and I were open minded, or
yeah,
else we wouldn't be where we are today. If we
right,
were just like, well, I don't know how to do videos, and I don't know anything about the internet, and I don't know
right,
how to make money, and I don't know. Like, it was like, okay, well, I feel like if I could figure it out, like it always boils down to something being worth it. It's kind of like working out. Like, I'm not like, I can't wait to just lift weights up and down. Yay. But I love the results.
yeah,
And in the early days, I was like just trying to get out of there as quickly as possible. But once I became a little more intentional, I built my own home gym. Well, I didn't build it, but
Yeah.
we had somebody, we had contractors build it
Yeah.
for us. Thank God. I couldn't. I don't even have like a toolkit. Like Nadia's the one, man. Like, and if someone's like, hey, can you grab the toolkit, the screwdriver, hammer? And I don't have one of those, and if we do have it, Nadia would know where it is.
Right.
But on a serious note, once I started getting some results, it became more motivating.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, this thing I didn't like doing, like I still don't like love doing it, but because now it's a habit, it's a built-in habit. I feel weird if I don't work out. Same thing with videos. I feel weird if I don't do a video or I don't do a post for a whole couple, like maybe not on the weekends or maybe when I'm busy or I'm traveling. But for the most part, I post every day, or my team posts something every day.
Yeah.
A repurposed TikTok or reel,
Right.
a post that I did in 2015. Maybe it works well every year I post it, right? So I'll just keep posting it once a year. The point is, I feel weird not doing things that in the beginning I felt weird doing and I disliked doing. Now it's a part of my discipline, my habits. So that's something to be said. You really have to get comfortable with discomfort, bottom line.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. No, I love the perspective, man. And that's why I wanted to talk to you about this, because like I said, you've got, you've been at this a long time. You've seen the good, you've seen the bad, you've seen it all, the
Yeah.
ugly, you've seen it all. And I think that that's why I have such a, deep respect for you. Not only that, you're just, you and Nadia are great people. I mean, you guys are great friends. And
Thanks, man.
but you guys, you've been through it, you've seen it, and I think it's just important, man. And because I want people to succeed. Like I always tell people too, like, do you want to be here? You want to make a bunch of money and then be gone in 6 months, or do you want to come in, build something that can be here? Because I've been doing this now for 15 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like I can't even begin to tell you the hundreds and thousands of people I've seen come and go. And I'll tell you, you want to build something that is going to be there for the long term, and that's really what this is all about. And if you're choosing a network marketing opportunity, look for some of these things that we talked about here, because that's what's really going to give you, the backbone for something that's going to last a long time.
Yeah, it's amazing what you can create if you just give up the addiction to the result. Like,
Yeah.
I think, one of my favorite quotes is marry the process, divorce the result. And if you
Yeah.
just give up that addiction to expectation and,
Yeah.
only looking at like the bottom line, like, I mean, if you look at my views on a lot of my videos, like some of them are just, it's just embarrassing, but I'm not embarrassed because I'm like, hey, that video just didn't do well. Maybe we
Yeah.
posted it at a bad time. Maybe it wasn't interesting enough. Maybe people don't care about that conversation, that topic. Like, okay, what I learned from it, move on. Like,
Yeah.
but I think that's part of the thing that holds people up. It's like, well, I don't want to do this and I don't want to do that. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm embarrassed. I don't know what to talk about. I don't know what if they ask me questions? It's like, just say I'm brand new and I'm learning and I have a goal and a dream that I'm
Right.
pursuing. And if you're open, great. If not, that's fine too. Like
Yeah.
the only people that truly fail in life are the ones that don't try to do something. And, like if someone says, well, I did one of those things and I failed, it's like, no, you quit.
Yeah.
You quit. I could have quit. I almost did quit on network marketing. Thank God I didn't, because, the results that we have today, I never, in my wildest dreams, I never had this on my vision board. I can tell you, I never had this. I never thought I would have this level of success,
Yeah.
and looking back, all those challenges, all that adversity made me stronger, made me who I am today. So I think sometimes we just have to be okay with the slow burn and, the lack of success, and realize that that's actually more common.
Yeah.
The fast success is uncommon. And even if somebody were to say, well, you were in your company 16 months and you started making over 100,000 a month. You're right. That's true. But that was actually about 16 years in the profession of
Yeah.
network marketing direct sales. And like you mentioned,
Yep.
we had to build up our credibility. We had to build up our skill set, our mindset. The philosophy I have right now, I did not have 5 years ago or even a couple years ago, honestly. I mean, maybe a couple years ago, but like 2015, 16, that I wasn't nearly, even 2017 when we finally started making over 100,000 a month. Like, it was so new to me. It was just, but the last 5 years, 2018, really 2019, we started to have some major breakthroughs.
Yeah.
So even when you start making seven figures, you're still like, what is happening?
Yeah.
Like, what is this? But
Yeah.
now that I can actually look back and I have the data, I have the history,
Yeah.
I can see like what it took and how we got here. And, it's hard for sure. It's a challenge, but it's not as hard as we sometimes think it is. Like when I look back, I'm like, it wasn't that bad.
Right.
I
The
mean, I
work of
became a
it's not
millionaire in
actually
my
the hard.
late 30s.
It's
Like, think
kind of
about
who you
that.
it's kind of who you have to grow at in
Yeah.
person. That's the hard
Yeah.
part.
Yeah.
You
Like
know,
when people see how much success we're having and they're like, you're only in your early 40s. I mean, like, I don't remember what the stat is, but it's something like the average millionaire starts 11 different companies or something like that before they finally become a millionaire. And then, but Mark Cuban says, but you only got to do it once,
yeah.
maybe twice. So, that's the thing, right? You just keep
Yeah.
going.
Yeah.
And even if it takes you to your 50s, maybe even your 60s,
Yeah.
like you still did it. And even if it takes you a while, the key to success is to keep going and not give up, because you don't know the impact you can make, and the legacy you can leave behind. And to me, that's the big picture.
And the thing is, before you ever succeed, and we'll wrap this up, but the thing is that before you ever succeed, you're gonna fail several times to the point
Yeah.
you and if you're afraid to fail, then you're never going to get anywhere. Like
Yeah.
it's what we've always tried to tell my daughter, like, don't be afraid. Like if you make a mistake, who gives a rat's ass? Like
Uh,
just go out and do it again.
yeah.
Like, if she got she's really into art, man. She's a graphic designer, and she did this uh piece of art. It got chosen out of like 600 different ones. She's like one of the top two, but she didn't advance to the next round, so she's kind of disappointed. We're like, hey, dude, you got chosen like out of 600 other, that's a huge thing. Like you just keep progressing and keep getting better.
Isn't it so true though? I mean, unless you're Michael Jordan, you're
Yeah.
not the greatest,
Right.
right? And we're talking about basketball.
Yeah.
Same thing if hockey, if you're not Wayne Gretzky, right? If you're not Babe Ruth, like you're
Yeah.
not the greatest of all. So there's always someone better than you,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And you look at like, we've all heard the story of like Tom Brady, right? He was like
Yeah.
a whatever round draft pick. And, was he the greatest athlete of all time? I probably wouldn't say he was, but
Yeah.
he's probably the greatest winner of all time, right? He's won
Yeah.
more championships than any other individual. So it's all a matter of perspective. And like you said, there's always someone doing better than you. So you just got to stay in your lane, focus on your own journey, fail forward, fail your way to the top. And I think really the biggest thing is finding something that you feel aligned with. Because if
Yeah.
you believe in what you're doing, it doesn't matter how long it takes to get there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Absolutely. And it's
I
worth it,
appreciate
man.
you, brother.
Yeah, I appreciate you too, dude. And it wasn't till 12 years in of my home business career that I had my first 6-figure year. But I'll tell you, when I did, it was like, crap, it was so worth it. Like it was so worth it,
Exactly. Yeah.
it's a lot of work. It was just a lot of work mentally to get there. But I'll tell you what, it's so worth it. So,
Yeah.
John, I love you, brother. Thanks for coming on. I think this is great. You guys, if you really got some value, make sure you comment on this video, comment on this blog post. And really listen to this. I mean, John's a veteran. He's been around the industry for a long time. There's a lot of things you want to look for when you're looking for an opportunity. So make sure that you do your due diligence, get in there, and find something that you can build that's not just going to be here for 6 months or a year or a very short period, but something that you can put in effort and you're going to reap the rewards of it 5, 10, 20 years down the road. Yeah. So appreciate you, brother.
Later, bro. Thanks for having me.
You guys.